Hello everybody, this is LudiCola15. Welcome back to another part of Let's Play Pokemon HeartGold. Last time we explored the Safari Zone and just checked on to see what we can do with objects and see what different Pokemon can appear. And by that I mean just show off only one and then explain what every Pokemon can appear. Well, not all, because some Pokemon I found through Kanto, and I only went over all the Pokemon that can only be found in Safari Zone. But now we can move on to the place that I've been waiting to talk about. And you know how every time I've gone over a bio, I've explained how some things are only available at Battle Frontier, or, you know, such? Because today we're going to be exploring the Battle Frontier. With that being said, I guess we can get started first with no item here, right? Because I never check with Item Finder. But now that, if we went back here earlier, there'd be a guy blocking us, and now that guy would be gone right after you defeat the Elite Four. So now if we go talk to this guy, which not really much open, the Battle Frontier's now open. Please go ahead. We can now finally enter the Battle Frontier. And this is the Frontier access, basically the main gate to it. I could have sworn I picked up something here. I guess I didn't. But here we have, well, just a little resort of the Battle Frontier before we go here. So I guess we can explore this place. I can't stop shivering. I told my family that I would conquer the Battle Frontier when I left home. But now I'm here, and somehow I can't stop shivering. What am I gonna do if I get beaten up to a pulp? You look quite strong. I will pull myself together and challenge the Battle Frontier. Maybe. I guess he doesn't have the chance to battle the Battle Frontier. And let me just say, the Battle Frontier, well, I've been rambling on about how I don't like it when I actually do like the Battle Frontier. It's just, there are some things that are only exclusive to there that I'd rather explain why it's kind of a bit tedious. But ignore that. We can talk to these guys right here. These guys! These guys are important because... Alright, let's just talk to them right now. If you become a bit of a fanatic about battles, I'm the guy who could teach your Pokemon all kinds of moves. Maybe I teach your Pokemon moves in exchange for BP. Now, what do you think BP stands for? Well, if you remember that time I battled a guy in Viridian City for the Battle Frontier point, you get battle points. Battle points are basically just currency of, well, moves you can teach your Pokemon, or just ways to exchange, just currency to get stuff like move tutors, items, such. I'll go over this later, but here are the move tutors. These are the guys that will teach your Pokemon, well, move tutor moves. This guy could teach something like the punches. These are the guys that will teach you basically... These guys just basically teach you stuff for battle points. And this is why I was saying that you're not going to get this stuff, because you have to earn a lot of battle points to get even just a single move. And it's such a shame this is the only way to get these kinds of moves. Like the Elemental Punches, Omnis Wind, Ancient Power. Like those stuff aren't great. But then there's also Signal Beam. Yeah, stuff like that. If you want like these kinds of moves, you're gonna have to work your way to get these ones. That's why it's really hard to get these. And if you're a casual player like me, well, yeah, you're not getting these most likely. You just got to skip on them or actually try out the Battle Frontier. Let's talk to more of these NPCs. Normally, choosing which Pokemon is all there is to a Pokemon battle, but when you change certain rules or limitations, the battle suddenly becomes even more fun. And this place is, you can have such fun. It's called the Battle Frontier. Yeah, I already said that. Click, click, click. Oh, it's you. I've gone over being first all the time. Now I count the number of people coming to the Battle Frontier. Of course, no one asked me to. It's just a hobby. This is the guy that was blocking us. This guy was blocking us. Now he's just counting how many people show up. Finally, I'm here at the Battle Frontier. When a Pokemon in battle on the road doesn't satisfy you any longer, you have to come to the Battle Frontier. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah, sure, pal. Might as well go to the Mars since, well, we haven't been here a long time. Anything new to buy? Probably not. Yep, no surprise. And here, Dusk Balls and Net Balls. How many Dusk Balls? That's 16. And Net Balls, I've never bought any. Even though they're actually pretty good Pokeballs. Because they catch water and bug types, and they're really good at doing that. And that's for Pokemon Center. I don't think there's anything in terms of PC-wise. Let's talk to these guys. I'm not going to talk with these ones. There's really not much to talk with them with. So, what I'm going to do is obviously explore the Battle Frontier, but it's not, I'm not going to, like, go do the Battle Frontier. I'm going to explain what you can do in there. Because the thing is, Look at my team. This team is not very good. I have a Brave Nature Ampharos, a Bashful, three neutral natures of Acrobatics, Octavio, and Sunnyside. I have a Timid Typhlosion, which is not the worst nature ever, but honestly, I have Earthquake, and that's not the best thing to have. Relax isn't awful, but honestly, I'd rather have Brave or something like that. And then my Acrobatics is neutral nature with these mediocre moves. Like, the Battle Frontier is tough just because, well, first off, you don't get any level up, so everything is just on par. You're going to be facing a lot of tip trainers eventually, and you just need a really good team in order to, like, conquer this place. Like, you need perfect IV, Uber-like Pokemon. My team is just meant for casual, not for competitive. Otherwise, my Tyranitar will probably do more than average. That's the best I'm going to do. Pokemon like Ampharos and Typhlosion Octillery don't have a standard chance. Blissey's also good, but my Blissey's a special attacker, which is not great. And I have Serene Grace. But there's no stalling. Let's move on. But my task in this episode is to explain what you can do here. Anyways, welcome to the Battle Frontier. This is your first visit? Right this way, please. Our other staff will be pleased to explain how the individual facilities of the Battle Frontier operate. I can go over general topics. Do you have any questions? So, let me explain these 5 things. I didn't do well to explain the last 5 things in the objects from the last episode, but instead I'll explain. The Battle Frontier is basically different facilities you can conquer with different rule sets. You conquer them to get the silver and gold medals, and then you'll win, and then you conquer the facility. The basic rules is that most of them are going to be 3-on-3s, and you pick 3 Pokemon. The level cap, by the way, is 50 for most of them. There might be exception where you can like have a higher level and then they'll match your levels. Battle points are basically currency you exchange for items and moves, but you get very little that it's gonna take a long time for you to collect a lot. But if you can conquer the facilities, then you get a lot of them. That's how you do it. But you gotta have a really good team to conquer these frontiers. Exchange Service Corner, that's what I'm gonna go over. And Performance Monitor, that I actually have no idea. So go ahead with that one. The Performance Monitor shows trainer data, so it's just, oh, no, just the records. Nah, I think we're good. So now if we go over here, no. Palmer, huh? The VS Recorder can record basically your data with this. And here we are at the Battle Frontier. Now I should know, Platinum is the first game to have this Battle Frontier. Emerald was the first to have an actual Battle Frontier. They brought the Battle Frontier back in Platinum and this game. And this is basically the same Battle Frontier as well in Platinum. I'm not going to talk to these NPCs because there's so many. But just know that like this is a really huge place. And if you're wanting to do some extra stuff in a post game and you have a really good team, like I'm talking Metagross, Garchomp like strong, then you might want to take this place on. You're going to have a lot of fun, unless you really just don't feel like it like me. Thing is, my team is not built for competitive, which is why I'm not going to take this place on. And why most of us don't take this on, because like our team is meant for casuals, and if you got something strong, then you can go ahead and take it on. Right now, I'm just kind of running this place to see if there's any items, which I don't think there are in the Battle Frontier. But there are 5 facilities, and this is where they are right here. Scale of the Battle Frontier. On the top, it's basically like a 5-sided shape. With the top, we have the Battle Tower, which is right here. We have the Battle Hall at the left, and we have at the bottom left we have the Battle Castle. We have the bottom right we have the the Battle Arcade, and then the right we have the Battle Factory. I'm gonna explain each 5 and then see what you can do. So first, let's go in the Battle Tower. So it's strange. I think the music does change in these games compared to Platinum. I could have sworn the Battle Tower just sounded different. I guess not. Sabrina? Yeah, this is Sabrina. How are you doing? You'll become even stronger than you are now. I know it. You'll defeat every trainer you face and eventually reach the glowing glory. I just wanted to tell you that. Talk to you later. Sabrina, the gym leader, the second gym leader that used to be in the Team Rocket Triad. called me. Wow. What a good thing for that to happen. So, ignoring that, the battle tower, it's basically, well, the same as an emerald, because this and the battle factory were brought back. This is just the same. It's just 3-on-3 normal multiplayer stuff. But I should have mentioned that in this battle tower, in Platinum and these games, Battle Frontier, we have not just singles, but also not Wi-Fi rooms, that too. But we also have multiplayer and doubles. And I think this is the multiplayer, I don't know. Yeah, multi. Yeah, there's multi, singles, doubles, and Wi-Fi, which I'm not even gonna explain. Doubles is basically just a 2v2, I think, or like 4v4 with 2 Pokemon at a time. Singles is just a simple 3-on-3, so basically Wi-Fi battles just with a 3-on-3. So I guess we can just go over these facilities starting now, huh? So let's get started. The Battle Tower, returning from Emerald, is the most standard of the battle facilities. Although there's double and multi options, I'm only going to go over single rules. Anyways, it's basically just battling with no other conditions besides no items, no shifts, and level capped is 50. So, if you have a Pokemon with that's over level 50, it will temporarily be reset to level 50 until you're done with the tower, or something like that. There's also no 2 of the same item, so you can't have 2 Pokemon with 2 leftovers, and you can't have Soul Dew. Oh, and speaking of which, there are certain legendaries and mysticals that aren't allowed. Like, the legendary birds are allowed, the legendary beasts are allowed, and I think the Regis are allowed, but Mewtwo, Ho, Lugia, Giratina, Groudon, Kyogre, Rayquaza, all those guys are Uber-like, and not an OU like that. Even the Lotties are allowed, but the other guys, like the Ubers, like, yeah, such, they're not allowed. And mysticals aren't allowed either. And then, what's next? There's also, almost all the battle facilities will require you to win 7 battles in a row. That's your goal anyway for these facilities. And as you challenge the tower again and again, the trainers get stronger. That is also said for the rest of the facilities. So like the more you challenge these facilities again and again, the more stronger your opponents will become. This is because the higher the win streak, the more battle points you will receive. Once you've reached 21 wins, you will get the chance to battle Tower Tycoon Palmer. I won't go too in depth with all the Frontier Brains' teams, but just note that this guy has a Dragonite, Milotic, and Rhyperior. Beat him and you will receive the Silver Medal. Now, reach a win streak of 49 and he will battle you again with a different team. This includes the Heatran, Regigigas, and Cresselia. Beat him and you will receive the Gold Medal. You get a lot of battle points if you beat the Frontier Brains. Like, I'm talking at least 18 or so. I have no idea, but I know if you can if you can win 7 battles in a row on your 3rd attempt, which will get your 21 win streak, you will get a chance to get like 20 battle points, and it's really good. That's how you get a lot of battle points if you have a really good team. If you lose at any point, you will have to work your way up at getting your win streak again before he will challenge you again. So the battle tower was rather standard, no gimmicks yet. Why is that? Because the next 4 have all kinds of gimmicks, and we're going to be starting off with the Battle Hall. Or this next one anyway. The Battle Hall is very, how do I put this? It's very unique, to say the least. We still have doubles and such. Right here, we have multi-battles. This is the same thing. I guess I'm not going to go over these rules, but here's the thing you got to know. This time, the Battle Hall is unique in that if you play a single player, or single battles, you're only allowed to choose 1 Pokemon, and not 3 like the others. You also want to win 10 battles, unlike the other facilities where you need to win 7. So, how do you win if you are limited to 1 Pokemon that can't cover every other Pokemon in the game? So let's say you bring an Alakazam and you only have like the coverage moves you need, like Focus Blast, Energy Ball, Psychic, and then Calm Mind. And you're gonna run into something that resists all 3 or such. Now, this is where things get interesting. Here's how it works. Between battles, there's a board with all 17 types displayed with rank numbers. You get to choose what type you want to battle. The rank numbers represent the difficulty, and after you beat the trainer on, like, let's say it's rank 1 and then you beat them, their rank will be increased by 1. Meaning the trainers of the type will get stronger the more you pick the same type. So it's not the best idea to rely on the same type each time. Also, the type you choose to battle can be one of their types. This means that you might fight a dual type Pokemon with the type you chose. So if you bring an Alakazam and you want to use just Psychic and only fight poison types or fighting types, if you choose poison types, well, be careful. You might get a Drapion or a Skuntank, both poison dark type, both immune to Psychic, and will likely screw up your plan. You also want to watch out for gimmicky Pokemon when choosing types, like Shedinja for Ghost and Wobbuffet for Psychic. Because you might get screwed and you're just going to lose because you didn't choose the right move against Wobbuffet, or you don't have the right weakness to cover Shedinja. You want to balance what different types of Pokemon you want to fight as you try to reach the 10 win streak each time. Battle Matron Argenta will battle you after 50 wins and 170 for the rematch. Yes, you have to fight all 17 types at rank 10s in order to battle her again. Her one Pokemon will be random from the types, so she doesn't have a set Pokemon. This isn't an easy task since you basically have to fight every type from rank 10 to 170 win streak to get that anyway. But at least, and I do mean at least, that battles are over quickly since there's only one Pokemon. Other things to know are that the level the Pokemon you bring is at the same level your opponents and Argenta will have. Well, not exactly. It will try to build up to the highest level. So, let's say I brought my Typhlosion at level 74, 75. The Pokemon you fight will be weaker, but then eventually they'll get up to your levels and have unfair advantages. And Argenta will have the same level as your Pokemon. So it's not rigged or anything. You also can't swap Pokemon in mid-campaign or it will reset the ranks back to 1. Also, one other thing to note is that you can have cheering sections or fans. Well, if you manage to win a streak of 1,000 wins, which I don't see anybody doing that, your mother will actually be a fan of yours. And also the chance that Lyra or Ethan, depending on who you picked, the opposite anyway, will be your fan. Cool, so I guess our not-so-girlfriend is going to be our fan after 1,000 wins, and our mother will finally trust us, even though she's let us have money for a long time, and we are allowed to use our phones. Lovely. And if you reach a 10,000 win streak, Professor Oak or Whitney will be your fan. Whitney will be your fan. Let that sink in. Also, if you're playing Platinum, your player's mother will be a fan of you. And Jasmine can be a fan of you at the 10,000 instead of Whitney. Alright, so maybe you don't like the fact that you're only using one Pokemon and for the Battle Hall and you might get screwed over by gimmicky Pokemon. I don't know, maybe some people might not like that. Because Argenta's probably the toughest of the 5 just because you only have one Pokemon and you really gotta work your way to like cover every weakness. Now the Battle Castle might be the thing for you because this is personally my favorite one. So with that being said, let's go into the Battle Castle. First off, this music, like these battle facilities have really good music. My favorite music will be coming up soon, but this is the Battle Arcade. So, as being said, it's the same rules as, well, the Battle Tower, but get this. And I do mean get this. And I forgot to mention this, but every time you win a battle from the other facilities, your team will get healed up. Except this one. With that being said, let's go over the Battle Castle. Probably my favorite of the facilities. It works like the Battle Tower, but after each battle, your Pokemon will not get healed. Instead, you earn castle points, only exclusive to this facility. You earn more points based on how well you did in your battle, like not losing HP, amount of PP used in the battle, no status conditions, how many Pokemon are left. By the way, he will revive your Pokemon. He will revive your Pokemon, but leave him with 1 HP after every battle, so you don't have a deal with a 2v3 or such. And also things like that. With castle points, you can buy HP, PP, and or full recoveries, skip battles, and even level ups for your own and level downs for your opponents. You get more points, by the way, if you manage to be your opponent's higher leveled. So if you set your opponents to like 5 levels above, and you set yours the same, a level 50 or such, you will get more points. And I suggest doing that for like the first few fights. But don't get too carried away, because if you do set their opponents to level 5, 5 levels higher, and they dupe you, then yeah, you're gonna get screwed. But anyways, with Castle Point, yeah. There's also being able to see your opponents' Pokemon, including moves, stats, abilities, and held items. It's brokenly good. Speaking of items, they're available here too. There's so many items you can buy that's like, you gotta think of which ones to buy as well. Like, you gotta keep in mind which ones will be the most beneficial to you. Keep in mind that these items are only used for the Battle Castle, so they're not yours to keep forever. You just only get to use them for this. You also keep the castle points as you continue your win streak. Castle Valet Dirac will battle you after 21 wins with his team of Staraptor, Empoleon, and Houndoom. And then 49 for the rematch with Entei, Glade, and Empoleon. Also, most of you know this, but the lady that judges you each match, her name is Caitlin. Does she look familiar to you? Well, if you played future Pokemon games, you might recognize her, since this and Platinum are her first appearances. And now to what some people say are their least favorite, and I really don't feel any different. This is probably the most luck-based of them all, the Battle Arcade. But it has my favorite music. Yeah, it does have it. Cool. Maybe the Battle Tower is the only one that has different, or maybe I'm just hearing it differently. I have no idea. This music's awesome, but same things apply, 3v3, but let's talk to these guys just because. And now let's go over this place. This music's awesome, by the way. The Battle Arcade, and probably the most luck-based facility of them all, unless you're really good at timing. It's 3-on-3 again, but each player's Pokemon are in a roulette. Yep, you can see your opponent's team before even battling. Depending on what the roulette lands on, you must win the battle with a condition that roulette landed on. These conditions include lowering HP, inflicting status problems, weather, random items, even odd gimmicks like Trick Room that can be set before the battle begins, and you have to win with that. One thing to note is that a Pokemon with an ability to override certain conditions like Golduck with Cloud 9, Primeape with Vital Spirit, will not be ignored, so Primeape cannot go to sleep, Steel types won't be poisoned, etc. Arcade Star Dahlia will battle you at a win streak of 21 with Dusknoir, Medicham, and Ludicolo, and then 49 for the rematch with Zapdos, Blaziken, and Togekiss. All I can say for this one is good luck. You might need it, unless you're really good at timing. And finally, we have the Battle Factory, returning from Emerald as well. And let me just say, this is probably one of the best ones you can do. Here's the thing. Unlike other facilities, you are not allowed to bring your own team. Instead, you have to rent Pokemon. And in multiplayer, let me at least explain that multiplayer and doubles. It's 4 Pokemon, so it's like you get 2v2 and then 2 Pokemon with your teammate, and then Wi-Fi tells us like that. But then singles, it's 3 Pokemon. Here's the thing. So let me go over the Battle Factory. Before I say anything else, by the way, you might recognize this if you played Pokemon Stadium 2 Challenge Cup, where you are given a random team and then you just got stuck with it. But it's not exactly the same, obviously, because Challenge Cup, you're given a random team, you have to pick 3 Pokemon to battle with. Anyways, the Battle Factory, returning from Emerald, as I said. In this facility, you don't get to use your Pokemon, but rather you rent Pokemon, like Pokemon Stadium. Once you start, you are given a choice of 3 Pokemon from 6. You're allowed to look at their natures, abilities, hold items, things like that. You choose the 3 that you think are the best to you, but then you work your way up win streaks with that team. Also note that these Pokemon are favored to have good natures and good items. Sometimes you get really bad stinkers. Like you might get a Rhydon with Rockhead and then not have anything to take advantage of Rockhead. You might get a Toxicroak with Anticipation, but usually they're favored to have good natures, like Adamant, Modest, Timid, and Jolly are the 4 best natures in my opinion. So, the best part of it is that once you beat a trainer, you have the option to swap one of their 3 Pokemon out for one of his or her 3 Pokemon. However, you cannot look at your opponent's Pokemon traits, like nature, moves, hold items, and abilities. You're only limited to what you saw in the battle you had with that Pokemon. So you may want a lantern that was making you struggle the last battle and you think will help you on later on. Once you choose it, you might find out that you just got an adamant lantern with Illuminate for its ability. You can remember the moves from that battle, but don't get to see anything else for a while choosing the Pokemon. There's a lot of luck, especially since you don't know what each of your opponent's Pokemon will be. Albeit, at the very least, they will tell you Pokemon, like what Pokemon they have right now, but then later on, it's a diminishing effect where they will stop telling you what Pokemon they have. But at least you get to know what they have. So, there's a lot of luck, but that's just what makes it fun in my opinion. Like, seriously, it's so fun. You can legit get shinies from these. Yeah, did I ever tell you that you can get shinies from battle facilities? As in, like, you can have a shiny, you can see a shiny, and then you don't get to have it. It's a 1 in 8,192 chance. It's possible. I've seen it a lot in the 3rd generation, and this one is no exception. So Factory Head Thornton will battle you after 21 wins and 49 for the rematch. His team is also not set, so he will have a random powerful team each time you fight him as well. And that's what really makes it, in my opinion. It's not the same every fight. You're going to get different Pokemon, and so will he. So it's not completely unfair. But maybe it's a bit too luck-based. Who knows? Either way, you're going to have a real blast. And I recommend doing this if you're like me, who does not have a good enough team to, well, battle this frontier. If you, like, want to get some battle points to have a chance to conquer at least one facility, I recommend doing this one, because you're at least going to have a good time. Alright, now let's pretend you conquered all 5 facilities. You have a lot of battle points because you defeated them all. All the Frontier Brains. What do you do now? This is where you exchange up for scratch off cards, which I'm not doing. You know what? Sure, let's actually do it. Let's spend our only battle point. We're never going to use it again. Scratch cards, you just scratch a card. You just pick one and scratch a card. You might get Dittos and such. Let's pick the blue one. And then card number 2, green. And then pink. I didn't know you could get 3. But anyways, you just start scratching and then you want, well, the best possible. In this case, 3 Badoos. You do not want to get a Ditto. Oh, I didn't mean to scratch that one, but hey, you take that. And I got a Ditto, lovely. But hey, we got... Oh, never mind, Ditto's good. I got 1 berry. Now I want a Chingling. The prizes here aren't that great in my opinion. They really aren't. And we lost. Yep. Alright, Ditto's good, I forgot. Aw, man. Alright, we got a Cherubi. And we lose already. Lovely. There's a Ditto in there. Hey, we at least got something. So we got 3 Koala Berries. But let's say you have more battle points than, well, what I had, obviously. You can exchange them for items. Or prizes is what they go with. There are items here and fighting items. Training items, we have these vitamins, which you can buy at stores, so really it's not worth it. And then these are power items, or what I call them, EV training items. These will basically help you get, promote a bit higher IVs when battling Pokemon. So Power Bracer will give you attack. When you're training up a Pokemon to get higher EVs, like let's say you're battling a ton of Pokemon with a good attack, give you at least 1 or 2 attack EVs. This will boost it more. This will like boost it. I think double or not 4. Boosted by 4. It'll basically just give you more attack, but it'll also reduce the fact that you'll get speed. That reduces speed stat. These are really good for EV training. Gaining attack, defense, special attack, speed, and then reduce the speed stat. That's strange. And then HP. Basically, get these if you really want to EV train Pokemon. But like, you know me. I'm not going to do it yet. Hold up. I need a... These are the big ones too. We have more items here you can buy. The Toxic Orb, the Flame Orb, the White Herb, the Power Herb, Focus Band, Bright Powder, and Focus Sash. You're given a few of these items during the main game, so don't throw them away. This Focus Sash these aren't finite, but like, you don't want to throw them away, because this is the only other way to get them. You have to spend all your way working hard to get these items particularly. Although some of these are worth it. The Toxic Orb, the Flame Orb are definitely worth it for Guts users or Breloom users with Poison Heal. I wouldn't recommend getting the Bright Powder, it's a bit too luck based. These are good for first turn uses. Can't be lower, like Overheat use and then first turn Solar Beam such. Focus Band's also a bit luck based, and Focus Sash is only good for something that you know is not going to take a hit. It's a bit too gimmicky, but the orbs are definitely worth it if you can get Pokemon with Guts and such. But then these are the big ones. Choice Band, which you cannot get anywhere else. Choice Scarf, which you can get from your mother. Scope Lens, boosts critical hit ratio, only way to get it. Muscle Band, boosts physical attacks, you can get it. Razor Claw and Razor Fang. Razor Claw will basically, same as Scope Lens, the Razor Fang will have a chance to flinch, basically King's Rock. But get this, these are the only way to obtain Razor Claw and Razor Fang. And this is the only way to evolve Sneasel and Gligar into their respective evolutions. So if you want a Weavile or Gliscor, because you cannot get these anywhere else, you have to go here and get these. Have fun! It's not too tedious, but I hate that that's the only way to get them, and that's why I just cannot recommend Sneasel and Gligar any more than that. But this is the big one. You can get TMs. Physical, special, and changing attacks. Physical TMs, we have Aerial Ace, which you can get, if I'm correct. Brick Break, you cannot get anywhere else. U-Turn, which you normally get from Bugsy, but here's the only other way to get it. X-Scissor, Stone Edge, and Earthquake. All really expensive and good TMs, except for, in my opinion, Aerial Ace. But you have to work your way to get these up. And if you're a casual player, well, rip, you're not getting half of these TMs. Brick Break, X-Scissor, and Stone Edge. Special attacks, we have Shadow Ball, which you get from Morty. Energy Ball, which you don't get anywhere else. Sludge Bomb, which you get from Route 43, I think. And Dragon Pulse, which you only get from Claire. So yeah, have fun. If you really want some of these TMs, you have to grind your way up. Then we have changing attacks, or, you know, setup moves. Toxic, you cannot get anywhere else. Thunder Wave, you cannot get anywhere else, which is a really good TM, by the way. Will-O-Wisp, nowhere else. Attract from Whitney. Bulk Up and Calm Mind. Bulk Up basically boosts attack and defense stat, and Calm Mind boosts special attack and special defense. Nowhere else. If you're a casual player, well, guess what? You're not getting half these TMs. But honestly, though, if you can build a good team just to get these TMs, it might be worth it to you in the end. So, with that being said, I think we can finally end this episode. For you guys, it may have been a bit too long, but for me, it definitely was. So, we're gonna, next episode, I have no idea what we're gonna do. We're gonna do one of two things. Either go over some events you could do, or something. I'll think of something. Anyways, this has been LudiCole15. See you guys next time from Pokemon HeartGold. Later. My goodness, this is a long episode.